Oh, hi everyone. Can you all hear me fine? Yes, can you hear me? Brilliant. Thank you. So I just got a minute left. You can choose whether you want your cameras on or not. I'm going to be sharing stuff today. Last week, if you remember, I showed you a new resource called the Goals Review Form. And I did ask some of you to do that for homework. And I'm very impressed by those of you that came back to me and told me you had done it. If you haven't done it, please do it, because it's a really positive way of just reviewing 2020 and coming and just realizing that although maybe things didn't quite go to plan, for the goals that we set at the beginning of 2020, a lot still was accomplished. And it's been amazing when I've spoken to people how much they have accomplished last year, when they just stop and think and get past the hell of tax season and all the stress that we've all been under. So it's a challenging, I know it's been a challenging 12 months now, virtually, but there's some really good stuff come out of it. Okay, so what I'm going to do now then is I'm going to start by covering some of the resources today that I'd like you to be aware of. I think we're all aware that what came out of last year is that our clients really, really appreciated having that regular communication from us. And so many of you stepped up and gave them key information about funding, about furlough, about tax opportunities, about so many different things. And they really, really appreciated that. And when we look at the difference between avian accountants and non-avian accountants, that commitment to communicating and sharing information is, to me, has been the big difference. And I have talked to a lot of avian accountants who have got over last year and are getting new clients because of the lack of communication that they received last year from their old accountant, from the lack of support they felt they were given. And so this has been, I think, one of the outstanding things that you all did last year. So I'm just trying to keep an eye on the message box and everything else, is that, you know, that you did really, really take action on this stuff and make a difference. So I would like us to continue this into 21, you know, and yes, there will be technical things, you know, there will be things about repayment of bounce back loans, there will be things about delaying payment and how making sure we do the cash flow forecast to do that. But there are lots of ready-made, ready-to-use content in System Builder to help you stay proactively connected to your prospects and your clients. So I just wanted to show you them. Some of them are advanced member tools, but if you don't see them and you don't know about them, how do you know whether or not advanced membership is worth upgrading to? So I'm going to show them all of them, so then you can decide. And if there are things that you're really excited about, then you can come back to me. So the first thing I really wanted to talk about was stuff that you already have. And I keep mentioning this, but you know, within On Track, there are 20 plus questions. And when you produce the report, the Key Improvement Possibilities report for a client, there are therefore 20 plus suggestions of things that they could do to improve their business. So if you're not using On Track, please use it. Either use it as an added value tool that you give them the whole report, or maybe you just drip feed paragraphs from that report into the communications that you're sending, so that you're giving them something of value. Have they thought about? Have they thought about? Okay, so that's the easiest thing. And at the bottom of that report, there is an appendix of, did you know we do all these things? And again, just a reminder that they can come to you for everything, any sort of issues that they've got. So I do keep looking over. I've got a second screen that I've got the when people are wanting to come into the room. So I'm just checking that for new people. So I do apologize. Okay. The second thing is taxability. So we've talked about the fact that we suggest that at least 3 months before their financial year end, you should be going and talking about tax opportunities to save your client tax. And taxability is a really easy tool to use. It's already in System Builder. It's broken down. You can see the whole product, or you can see it based just on an individual, if it's just an individual tax return, or a business owner's tax return. So you can tax it challenges. So you can look at all those things. And again, it's about proactively giving them something to think about. Do I need to think about telling my accountant that I am going to do something, or I have done something that could affect the amount of tax I pay next year? So this is about being proactive with stuff. So those two things are really, really simple things to do. Okay, just use that content and ask those questions and build it into those communications. Now, a lot of people I know have March year ends, and probably we've been so swamped over December and January that we haven't had time to really sit down and have those meetings with our clients up till now. Hopefully, those of you that have been swamped in January, next year it's going to be different. You know, the whole process is going to be different. And like some of our longer term members, January will be much quieter as far as tax return season is concerned, and allows you to be doing much more valuable stuff for your clients in that time. So think about how we can plan that, but also, you know, even if you've only got a month to go, like for some of us we have, or 2 months to go for our clients, getting taxability in front of them, making sure that we've thought of everything we can do to help them save tax for the next 5th of April is really important. So do that. I'm going to share my screen now because I want to show you System Builder. So I'm just going to share my desktop, and you'll see System Builder here. I'm just going to hide everybody's videos. So I'm hoping you can all see that. If you've got any problems with seeing it, please put it in the chat box so that I can, you know, deal with any issues. Good, everyone see it. So this is System Builder. This is the full added value database. So you may not have all the documents I'm going to show you in here. But like I said, if you feel that you would want to be doing and using this ready written content, then please let me know and we'll sort something out. We'll get that you upgraded, or we'll find a way of getting you through that. So the knowledge base, I just wanted to just pick up, first of all, something that I know that a lot of people have a challenge with is finding things in the knowledge base, because there is so much stuff in here. So if I was to say, well, go and have a look at what adverts are in there. Often, if you just type in, let me just type in advert, it's a bit of a weird thing because it works on exact words. Okay, search. Then I get 6 results. If I put adverts, okay, I get completely different results. 5 results. If I put advertisement, is that how you spell it? Okay, again, completely different group of results because it's looking for specific words. Okay, so what I would suggest you do is, in order to make sure that you are finding things properly, try and use shortened words. And if you use the star sign, that becomes, is it called a wildcard, isn't it? It becomes a wildcard and it searches. And therefore you find anything that has that part of a word in the title. So suddenly we've got 29 results here. You know, at one point we had 6, at one point we had 5, at one point we had 4, now we've suddenly got 29. So one of the things is use that wildcard, that asterisk, that star, to try and find resources. Thank you, Andy. Brilliant. So otherwise as well, please call me. If you can't find anything, drop me an email, give me a phone call, because I don't want you spending hours and hours searching for information when actually I know exactly what to look for. Jenny and I regularly review the resources. Jenny is on a mission to update a lot of the resources in the next 6 months. So there will be things that we'll be telling you about every week that Jenny's worked on, as well as obviously the themes that we've got today. So having a quick look at this, one of the things I wanted to talk to you about that I think is perfect for proactively communicating to clients is something that we have called insider reports. So if we look at document types and we scroll down the left-hand side, you will see that there is a thing called insider reports. If I keep search that, you'll see there's 48 different insider reports. Now, what these are reports that have been written, some by us, some by external people who have been happy to share, which you can use, either print them out on your headed paper, put them into brochures, put them on your website, use them as your free gift for people when they give you their email when you're on the websites. You know, I've got a few people who've used that as their sort of golden carrot to get email addresses of people, is to let people download them. So let's pick one. Okay, so here's the 52 reasons why, and the 52 reasons why some people are more successful in business than others. And like I said, you can change this branding, you can have it on your own document. And here we've just got a little introduction about what we mean. I'm sorry, I've got more people wanting to come in. And then down here, and obviously here you can put in your details so that if people want more information, they know to contact you. And then here are the 52 things. Okay, now when you read this, you'll think, oh gosh, isn't this the stuff that AVN keep telling me to do? Yes, it is. It's similar stuff, okay? But it's looking at all sorts of things. So you can see this document has 52 things, which actually creates you a 7-page document that you can use and brand up as your own and put onto your website, or you could just email out. So, you know, maybe you could send out an email to your clients going, you know, would you like to find out the 52 reasons why some people are more successful in business? If so, click here. And that will click to this document stored on your website or stored somewhere that people can access. And you can then track who has said yes, can't you, if you use different software. So there are some great insider reports in here. Lots of them. Some of them are, you can think about, are they timely? You know, about sorting, beating price cutters, building the right team, getting paid, how to cut your costs, all sorts of different things in here. Outsourcing, referrals, sorting out your own strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats, all sorts of things here. Look, there's loads of them. So it's worth, oh, and also here, look, there's a document about how can you write your own. So a little bit of an example of how you build your own template for it. So you can use these as a really great way of communicating. And I wanted to just remind you of this slide that you've probably all seen when Shane's been training, which is about actually making sure that we constantly have touch points, okay? So having touch points not only through the prospect journey, the discovery, the lead capture, the nurturing, and the onboarding, but also from then on with your clients to keep them going. And some of these will be regular meetings. So for those of you that have managed to organize perhaps quarterly management accounts and board view meetings, that might be your month 3, month 6, month 9, or you might even change it. So I know Libby, she always has her month 10. Her month 10 is her important one because that's the one obviously where they can start doing real tax planning. But in between times when you're not physically having meetings, what are you doing to stay in touch? And for prospects, like I said, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about how people can find you. One of the resources, some of the resources you can do for people to find you. But then when you capture the lead, how do you nurture them? And again, there's a load of stuff in System Builder that's all ready for you to use. So I've just reopened System Builder again, hoping you can all see it still. Okay, there are lots and lots of things in here. I'm going to clear out the insider reports because you can go and look at those. They are, some of them are for foundation members and are set up for foundation members. Some are added value, depending on what sort of support we think that people need with them. But again, if there's something that is really important to you that you want to start encouraging people to communicate, whether it's a subject that actually you feel happy with, I just want to show you something else, then it's, you know, we will help you out with them. Okay. But I know that I've known several members who have used these as a way of getting lead generations, okay? Because that's a very simple way to add a little bit of value without it taking you any work at all. Okay. Now, if you have gone through the AVN approved membership checklist and have been signed off as an approved member, then also you can be getting your own AVN book, can't you? And the system for doing that is in System Builder. As you all know, I was going to say that. So once you've got the AVN book, that's also a beautiful way of catching people's emails address and then being able to do something proactive afterwards. So I wanted to just show you some ready to go responders. I'm just going to put ready, see if I can find it. What was it for? So 7 ready to go autoresponder emails. So this is a great tool again, because if you have been able to get people to download a free copy of your book or download, the book is probably more important because it covers so many different subjects, but if you've been sending them other emails, or you can then use this as an automatic way of sending out emails. So you can use things like, you know, SurveyMonkey or your CRM system to automate sending out regular emails. And here you've got some ready written stuff. So for example, if we just click on the first one, okay, this is engagement. And we're trying to, aren't we, is to give them something of value, but also to cross-sell. So if they've had the book, This is great. We can say thank you again for requesting a copy of our book, and thank you for taking the trouble to read it. I propose to send you a series of short emails in which I will highlight different areas of your business that we can take a look at. This is not just how to grow your business, but other areas of your business too. Okay, and then here we recommend you start taking a look at where your business is now by benchmarking it. Oh, sorry, Stephen. Okay, I will check that up, please, after the meeting. Yes, about some access issues. So the important thing here is that we've sent them the book, we've reminded them about a part of the book that's valuable, and then we're going, right, what we think you need to do is perhaps look at benchmarking yourself. So we would be delighted to do so. Now, in this case, we're saying without any cost or obligation, because we can do the one-page report out of benchmark, very simply, can't we, if we get their accounts, and then it's the follow-on works that then you can charge for. So this is a really great way of starting the autoresponders. And then obviously past that, we've then got other ones. So perhaps looking at the one-page plan. Here we've got about direct debits or service providers. We could look at simple stuff that works with them. We could look at taxability, personal balance sheet, improvement possibilities. So it's giving them a whole way of getting in. So you could send one of these in the months when you haven't got meetings with them. You could send them just as a standard email to prospects who have downloaded your book but haven't actually joined you as a client, because it's just a way. And because, as you can see, none of these actually are we asking for their accounts work. So if it is a prospect, we're not putting them on the spot and saying, we need you to leave your accountant. What we're saying is we can give you something else that will be valuable that you can pay for and help, some other support to grow that know, like, and trust field. So there's lots of these. And if I just go back here, you'll see that there are all sorts of systems around it. So there are systems about how to actually run that. So this explains exactly how you do it and how do you stop your contacts pressing delete and all these sort of things. So there's loads of stuff here about proactively contacting them. All sorts of things. Ready to use added value messages, ready to use referral processes. So lots of things that could help. So it's really important to do that. One of the things that I've just spotted down there actually, which will be quite useful too. I'll just find it. Sorry, these are all different proactivity messages. Yeah. Here we go. Is maybe using something like this. Now, obviously, we're not all in our offices, but quite a lot of you are. And we have designed a series of posters that you can use in your, the appendix has got the different things, which are really good discussion points. So you could actually use these just again as emails or as postings on Facebook or postings on LinkedIn, where you could just put that image. If anything was possible, what would you do with an extra £1 million and how would it make you feel? Contact me to find out more. If anything were possible, how quickly would you like to pay off your mortgage and how would that make you feel? So these images, they again are ready to use. We've got members who have made these into posters and put them on the walls. We've got people who've made them into almost like business card size that they can hand out. We've got someone who's made like a set of playing cards almost out of them that they can use. But you can also easily use them, like I said, the images in lots of ways of being proactive. And as some people are more visual, they like pictures and more visual sort of snappy things, and perhaps that might work better for some clients than a long email. But you'll see that most of our emails we've tried to keep short. So these are really a great way, again, of connecting and giving people some key information. Again, there's lots of little things in here that will help you. So we've got lots of different ideas of how to make the experience once you are meeting a prospect or a client much better. That's here in the meetings, okay? But again, we've got lots of different email newsletters, we've got lots of different content here that you can use. And that's what I want to try and remind you, is that please don't reinvent the wheel. We've got loads of stuff here, 20 years of learning of what does and what doesn't work, you know? And just because we may again have written it as an email format doesn't mean you can't use it somewhere else. So if I've got an email here, where this one is talking about how to make things much simpler with an A4 sheet of paper. Thank you, Gary. I don't know that old. Oh dear. So then it's really important that you could use this, because that would make a great header, wouldn't it? For an article, for a blog, for something that you could post on LinkedIn, for something that you could put on your little Facebook groups, something that you can do to connect with your clients. So there's lots and lots of ways that you can use this. Don't think, you know, try not to be blinkered about the fact that it says this is an email. Don't think, oh, this is only an email. Think about what else could I use it for? How else could I use it? You know, these could just be like keywords, a key line on your web page, couldn't it? These are things we do, make things so much simpler with a single A4 sheet of paper. Oh, how do you do that? Okay, well, let me tell you about our one-page plan and the importance of measuring all the important numbers to you. These are openers all the time. So I just wanted to really remind you that there's lots of stuff already in there. And there is a great system. So if I just pull up, I pulled up that one, didn't I, about how to run a marketing campaign. If I just pull up here, okay, there's a great system in here about how to create those email campaigns and surveys that work. This is really details, but it gives you some really key information, okay? Because we can spend a lot of money on other people doing this for us, or a lot of time doing it ourselves. And again, like I've said, please, you know, don't pay for something you've already got, or don't try and reinvent the wheel. There's a load of stuff here, okay? So there are ways, proven ways of making sure that your emails or your campaigns are effective, okay? There are ways, there's ideas about how things should look, okay? There's even here about, you know, why variety is important in your messages. There's all sorts of things in here, okay? Now, like I said before, a few of these we haven't yet updated for our new branding, so they may have our old branding on. But that doesn't matter, because you're not going to use that branding anyway. You're going to change them for yourself. You're going to make them your own, aren't you? We can have a little copyright message on the bottom, but other than that, you can put your logo all over it, change the colors, whatever. So this is a really great process, an idea of looking at how things work. And again, one of the important things here, I thought this was really cool in here, was that, you know, yes, you need to have a series of proactive emails, say, or LinkedIn posts, or Facebook posts, or Twitter posts, or whatever, however you choose to communicate with the majority of your clients. And again, actually asking people and finding out what platforms they prefer can be really useful and should be recorded in your CRM. Because I know some people, you know, who just love WhatsApp. And there are some people who, you know, only look at LinkedIn, and you know, so, and Facebook is a personal thing, and they don't do anything business through Facebook. There are different people, so to find out the best way of communicating with them is really key. So having somewhere in your initial communications, how do you like me to communicate with you? You know, do you like me to put something on Facebook? Would you like to put on LinkedIn? Would you like to put something on Twitter? Would you like me to send you emails? You know, or which things do you absolutely hate me doing? And then the important thing, which this is what I've highlighted on the system, is that in that, we talked about that customer journey and actually making sure that we've got contact points. There has to be points where you pick up the phone, okay? So it's making sure that there are times where you actually go and pick up the phone and just chat with them and say, how are you doing? What are the, you know, what are the challenges are? It was really interesting that Shane and I have recently been speaking to some senior people at AAT and ACCA, and they would like Shane to deliver some support and webinars, which is fantastic. But they said one of their biggest worries is the fact that accountants are lonely, feel alone, they feel left out. I'm hoping as ABM members you don't feel that way because you've got this great community around you. But a lot of other accountants are feeling alone. But it's not just accountants, is it? There are a lot of business owners there who are feeling stressed and under pressure and worried. They may feel that they are like the breadwinner for the family. They've got, they're worrying about, can they pay their employees, because will those employees keep their houses, mortgages, stuff like that. So they take on a lot of other people's stress and worries, just like you do. And sometimes a call and having a chat with them could be really important, So whether you do that as your client contact process, so maybe it's a case of month 2 or month 5, or month 8, you pick up the phone, or, you have a process that your client managers pick up the phone and just ask them some key questions.
Can I contribute, Emma?
Yes, of course you can.
Right, it's Sherry Murray from Murray Associates, guys. Yeah, we run mentoring groups, as you know, all online. We've been doing that for 3 years now. And when we talk to them about mentoring groups and talk about their promotions, particularly with lockdowns, we just remind them to say exactly what you're talking about in terms of like, people are by themselves, but realize your customers are like that. For example, some of them the guys are salon owners, and obviously they can't open because of the new rules. And it's more in terms of saying, okay, well, just get in contact with them. Just say, okay, do you want to chat about how things are? Talk about the beauty side of it, or hair, whatever, and just give them some tips. But the important thing is realize that the human beings, and just get that point of contact with them just by talking to them. So you can actually encourage your clients to do exactly what you're doing at the same time.
Yeah, thank you, Jerry. That's really important, because we're trying to help people, aren't we? Support each other. I think one of the things that has become very clear, hasn't it, is that everybody is feeling the mental stress now. And I think when we were in tears, it was almost eased a little bit, because we knew there were certain things we could do, but now we're currently back into full lockdown. Everybody's starting to feel that pressure and feel stressed, and there's a lot of mental anxiety. So I'm not asking you to be counsellors, okay? That's not in your remit. I'm just asking you to be there for people, and to say, and maybe put them in touch with people, perhaps set up little communities where they can chat to each other that have got the same issues, so that they can learn from each other.
Sorry, Emma, sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
Yeah, by doing something like that with your clients, it actually distracts them from being, under pressure themselves, and all the mental stresses. When they start thinking about other people, they just forget about their own worries at the same time. It really is that power of positive thought. But the important thing is, if you're helping somebody, lots of people are motivated by helping somebody, and they quite willingly do that. And that's all you're asking them to do, so that they completely forget about themselves and say, oh yeah, that's a good idea, and they get motivated.
Mm. Yeah, so thank you, Jerry. It's really important that, and again, we are in challenging times and things different, but even when we're not, we should be actually communicating. We should be checking in, because that's what differentiates us from other people, and that's what makes them think of us as their trusted person, their go-to person, which is what we want them to do. We want to be able to support them in lots of ways. And the other thing is, then they also start becoming our greatest advocates. So that's really useful too. So I think using these resources here, you need to keep an eye out, and if there are things that you want to be doing, if you want to be starting to communicate with your clients and your prospects more, please look in System Builder, but also ask us what there is, because there's so much stuff there that actually it's already scripted, it's already ready. We can easily do some training with your team so that you can share the load, some of these calls. And I think Jerry's probably found this, but I know that other members have, that when they've got their team to ring up and not just ask, where's this missing invoice, or I need your VAT information or whatever else, but actually sort of chatted to them and said, how are things going, whatever, then that's actually connected the whole firm to the importance of what you're delivering. You know, there's a lot of team members who feel that they're just doing a job, but the buy-in that we're getting from some of our team who are making that connection to our clients, who are having those conversations, who are able to just sort of make those connections, they also are not only building that relationship with our business, but also beginning to spot those opportunities for us. Okay, and you've heard me mention before about the windows of opportunity, and that's another thing. So perhaps when you're thinking about these communications that you're having with your client, you need to be recording on your CRM or just on this. There's a basic spreadsheet and system builder. You know, how many of them have you told about these things? You know, so, you know, if you sent people an email about a one-page plan, or your client managers mentioned the one-page plan, you need to mark it so that you can say, do you remember I mentioned that the other week, or I mentioned that a couple of months ago? And you said, you know, this was quite an interesting idea. So use these resources. That's really I wanted to look at. And then the other thing that we've got, which is part of the added value membership, is proactivity. So proactivity, we've got a whole suite of pre-written communications that you can have, but also about how you can sort of mix and match them so that you can build something that's personal to you. So as you can see here, we've got like a whole group of introductory paragraphs for clients or introductory paragraphs for prospects. We've got a whole load of concluding paragraphs, so whatever. And then actually the stuff that's in the middle. And then making sure that I think we've got 18 different proactivity messages in here. So building a process, but also building a tracker through it. So making sure that you don't repeat messages. And so, for example, this is quite complex, obviously, but you know, what message did we choose to send in January? What introductory paragraphs did we use? What concluding paragraphs did we use? What postcards and when did we send it? So that you can track that if you are mix and matching them, then you can have a track of what you've sent. But to be honest, I have to say this, that there's nothing wrong with sending out the same message multiple times in a year. It's interesting, isn't it? I was on a different conference last week, and we were talking about communication, and people were saying, you know, the fact that sometimes, you know, stuff gets lost, particularly emails, doesn't it? Even when you talk to somebody, their brain's sometimes somewhere else and they've not picked it up. And often you can tell somebody the same thing multiple times, but they have to be in the right place to hear it. You know, and I mean right place mentally to hear it, and where they are in their business to hear it. So there are some people that you may have said, oh, do you know what? I've kept telling them about benchmarking, but it just doesn't resonate. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't tell them about benchmarking again. Okay, you might need to come at it a slightly different angle, but actually the important thing is that they understand that you are still offering this service and that it could give them some benefit. So please don't worry about that. Yeah, Chris has put, I think messages to clients are like advertising. You have to repeat the message many times before it sinks in and makes a difference. That is absolutely true. Yeah. And yeah, Jerry's put it's a bit like the goldfish in the goldfish bowl. Yeah, it is sometimes, isn't it? And particularly at the moment, you know, we keep saying this, but everybody is under stress, and we are trying to help people relieve that stress by helping them out. And sometimes you just have to help them see the wood for the trees. You need to be just really clear and just keep hammering home the same message, but in a nice way, which is why we've got all these different pre-written content for you to help you with that. Okay, and just really, really simple resource that I just wanted to remind you of, because let me see if there's a number. You've probably spotted that every document has its own unique number. But what we want to make sure is that we keep increasing the value perception clients have of you. So there is obviously using all these different connections to the added value services that you can deliver. but also perhaps reminding them, in this case, reminding them that you are part of this group of people, okay? That you are part of this whole group of passionate accountants who are passionate about helping people have choice, okay? So there's this lovely document here that you can use. You can, again, tweak it if you like, but it's a good way of using it. But again, you should be telling people about the fact that you are part of AAT, or you're part of ACCA or ITAEW or whatever it is, in a positive way, reminding people that you've got these additional skills, that you can connect to people. And in this particular this case, I've put, we put here that, even if there's just you in your business, okay, it's part of AVN, you've got access to hundreds of other accountants and their skill and expertise. And over the last few months, I've been really pleased to see how many of you have gone to other AVN members and supported each other, whether that's been with some marketing ideas or maybe some technical challenges that they've not known, perhaps some of the stuff that's been going on with Brexit and or other things. So it's good to have that connection and to tell your clients and your prospects that you have that connection. Because some people say to me, one of the issues they have is they feel that they don't attract the bigger firms, because bigger firms feel that they need to be working maybe with a top 5 firm, or they may need to have working with a bigger firm because you don't have that depth of knowledge and skill and access. Well, you do, and that's what you need to say to them. Yes, I do. It might not be within my immediate team, but I now have this huge team across AVN of people who have this information and can support each other. So using that again as a great proactive message about yourself is another great thing.
Just if you're all right contributing again, Emma.
Yeah.
Yeah. We when we promote ourselves, we concentrate on being a small business owner specialist, which gets us away from the big 5, anybody like that, because they don't give a shit about small business owners, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Even though they claim they have, because of the links with RBS and other people in the past, they just don't get it because they haven't got the experience. Because the great thing about ourselves as part of the AVN family is that we are small business owners ourselves and going exactly through what they're doing. So again, you just got to remind them that you're a small business owner. You know exactly how they feel, and you're not a KPMG or anything like that, or a corporate accountant. You're there. You're in there for them, so you're with them.
Yeah, so you've got that balance, haven't you? You've got that, you know what it's like because you run a small business and you've been through all this pain and you understand all those issues, but also you have access to all these people so that the skill and knowledge of maybe help as people grow, perhaps restructuring or looking at different aspects of their business, you've already got that behind you as well, haven't you? So having the best of both worlds. And also, like you said, not just being a number, being a person to you. Your clients are individuals that you want to have that connection with.
It's like anything, as we've done from when Gloria's really got hold of all the principles and applied everything and concepts from AVN. You don't need that many clients to make the money that you want to earn at the end of the day. It is about quality. We don't bother with lots and lots and lots of people anymore. We're very much key into getting quality clients and charging them accordingly, obviously with the different types of packages we've got as well, because I've got about probably 8 to 15 different types of packages, from the 3 packages, the gold, silver and bronze, if you like. I've got about 8 to 15 of them. So because you just keep on reinventing it, obviously with all the mentoring we've done and things like that. And somebody wants something else, so therefore you can always fit within anybody's budgets. In the old traditional, even you went down to, what Mark and Steve kicked off many moons ago about giving people a choice on three basic packages. Yeah. They can escalate to the next level, like the virtual financial director, and then the executive level. It goes on and on and on. So yeah, it's a marketer's dream, to be honest with you.
Thank you. So I just wanted to ask some questions of you while you're all on, because I just want to get a bit of feedback. So first of all, how many of you've got, if you can put it in the chat box, if you already have a systematic systemized process of communication with your clients and your prospects that's automated. And how much time do you think you spend writing content for that? Thanks, Tracy, for your honesty. It's one of those things, isn't it, that we know would be beneficial to our business, but it's the putting it all together that's a challenge. And that's why I'm asking you to just go back and look at what's in System Builder that you've got already, and actually use us to sort of set these things up easily, because there's so much stuff here. Yeah, you do need to have to do the 80-20 rule applies as well. So there's quite a lot of no's there, to be honest, if people haven't done it, but that's fine. That's fine. And we have a tendency to often think, oh, we'll pay somebody else to do it, or, you know, we'll go and buy one of these courses and learn everything we know to be able to write everything we need to do, but you've still got to build the time to write it. So again, use what we've got is what I'm saying. So at the moment, you know, you may want outside input for moving forward, but use what you've got. And the other thing is, well, I mentioned earlier about people having different ways of receiving information. So we have one member who has done extremely well at lead generation by just creating very short, literally 2-minute videos that he's been putting on LinkedIn. Now, he's been doing that very regularly, and they're on very, you know, simple subjects that, you know, you would be very easy to talk about. A lot of them technical subjects, to be quite honest. But what has happened, he's built a following, okay? And the number of people watching those YouTube videos is outstanding. I mean, blew my mind. 35,000 views of one of his videos.
That's good.
I know, good grief.
Yeah.
And it's finding the subject, isn't it, Jerry?
It's dead easy because you've got all the resources in AVN. You know, things that, you know, I don't know, but you probably mentioned it because I came in late, my apologies. The 52 reasons you can talk about 3 of them. That's video.
Exactly.
That's a 1-minute video, because all you've got to do is pop in, you know, what you've done, or what you should have done, and then just say, look, with some clients we've done this with them, so you're actually promoting yourself at the same time. So it's really down to you know, if you do take, say, three of those reasons, there is a problem within each reason. So as a consequence of it, you just give them the solution at the same time. And the great thing is you're not spending that much time to actually give them the solution. But then if they want your expertise, they'll come to you. So this is about the lead generation in terms of, like, give them the tips, give them the top tips, and then just roll them out. So that's a great thing about everybody saying no there. Even if you take 52 of those reasons, take 3 of them, you got an instant email, just ping that one out. Don't put the whole bloody thing out. I'm sorry, but don't reinvent the wheel, but do break it down, because people, you know, the goldfish bowl, they haven't got time to read much. So they'll say, okay, 3 top tips today, pop one in end of the week. Just look out for it. Look forward to seeing you. Hope this helped. That's your email.
Perfect. Thank you. And to be honest, the other thing I'd just like to say is that if I'd have said to you a year ago, I want you to do videos, most of you would have absolutely freaked out.
Makeup.
Yeah. But you're on Zoom constantly. Okay. You're happy to be on video with me, with your PGEs, you know, with your clients all the time. So this is no longer an excuse, because you could just come on Zoom and record yourself saying those 3 things. And there you've got a little MP4 video ready to use. You know, it doesn't have to be flash. It's just communicating something that's of value to your client. So, you know, all the excuses of, oh, I need lighting and I need a camera. No, just use Zoom or just use your phone and just do them.
Some of us need makeup. Some of us need makeup, Emma. Come on.
I quite agree. But sometimes, you know what? I've seen some of the ones with the best followings are people that are just being natural. You know, like you just said earlier, you know, what you're saying to people is, I'm a business owner too. I understand these issues. And so if they've seen you, you know, doing I'm not particularly enamored when people are walking with the phone talking, because I find that quite distracting. But, you know, if people are doing stuff around you, that's not a problem.
Yeah, you can use some of the mini PowerPoints as well, because you can create your own PowerPoints, even just your 3 top tips. And what we've been doing is, in Gloria in particular, is actually just showing them the PowerPoint, and then she's on camera and Zoom, and a wee little like you know, a picture in the corner sort of thing. But then she turns around, if it's a long, say an hour's or 45 minutes presentation, she says, I'm just switching myself off now from video so you can concentrate on what we're going to be talking about today. And that's the excuse for you to get off camera if you're a little bit camera shy anyway.
Yeah, yeah. And you can have a drink. Yeah.
Well, thanks very much. The pubs are shut though.
Thank you, Derek. You've been really helpful. Has anybody got any questions or anything they want to share with us? Happy for you to unmute yourself and share something, or put your camera on. I know I'm asking you to come on camera, but I know you're all good at this. Okay, so I'd just like to thank you for your time today. I'm hoping that you've picked up a couple of little gems, some ideas. If you want to talk about this further, please talk about it with your practice growth expert. Okay, even if you haven't spoken to them for a while, please pick up the phone or drop them an email and say, Emma was talking about this stuff, and we'll get this moving for you. Because this is a good time now to start getting that sort of moving for the rest of the year and get it planned out. And if we can plan out a year or 18 months worth of content, you can do it now, can't you? And that saves you so much time and it's all done and dusted. Brilliant. Okay, thank you very much, everybody. I hope you have a lovely afternoon. You take care of yourself. Thanks a lot. Bye. I'm just gonna